Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Tuesday morning Mount Run stream. I'm Hazel. I hope you are all about to have a fantastic Tuesday and had a good start to your week yesterday. I welcome all Azeroth dwellers and Azeroth adjacent people. You know, maybe you left and you're going to come back one day. Maybe you've never played and you don't know how you got here. I hope you're all doing great. I set up a dog camp and then my dog left. Joker, go lay down. Go lay down. See if he picks the right bed. I'm going to get going right away today because this stream's probably going to be closer to 1 hour than 2, to be completely honest with you, because I am not quite finished the edit for the video that's going to come out today, but I believe, oh, that's, I think she might have scared him away from the bed. Kitty, that's a webcam. I'm not quite finished the edit for the video that's going to come out today, but I believe that I can do it before lunch if I have enough time. It shouldn't take too long, but we'll see. So we're gonna zip through some mount runs. We're gonna catch up. I'm gonna open my cache actually before I do any of that. So, you know, I'm already in Boralus. I'm like 2 feet away, but I'm still gonna hearth back because this thing's got a 4-minute cooldown, and you know it's hard to run out when you have a 4-minute cooldown. If you're a Hazel, who am I? Oh man, we used to have I hesitate to say meme because I feel like memes are implied to be funny. There used to be a thing on my Twitch channel where all of my friends would claim that they were Hazel, and then we never really got anywhere with that. So I did do, for my cache, I did do a +10 this week. I think do is a strong word. I had problems this week. I think I was very briefly mentioned it in one of my, like on the Friday stream. I've been having issues with the 7 key on my gamepad, my Orbweaver, and over the weekend it finally bit the dust. It completely died. Like, the rest of the thing worked fine, but the 7 key was just not happening. And I tried to do, yeah, I can still take Chorus of Insanity. We get more item level. I think that's good. So, like, if I compare it, so this one is 24/31, and this one is 24/28. So, yeah, this new one is better. So, at least it's an upgrade. It's Azerite gear, but it is an upgrade. I look so delightfully stunning that I might just stay like that. And then I'm pretty sure, I can fix this later if I do it wrong, but I'm pretty sure I want Chorus. And then for the middle row, I always just follow whatever Azerite traits tells me because it seems like a good idea. So we would take that one, and then I can't do that yet because I am very lazy with my Azerite power. So with that out of the way, we're going to head to ZG. I think I'm going to port to Dalaran Karazhan Fly, I think is the fastest way. I did go through and moved all of my characters away from their Tanarus Hearthstones, so they should be set up in, oh, my dog laid down. They should be set up in Fort Livingston now. I'm gonna catch up. Hazel sent by Hey Connor, how you doing? What's up, Alexander? How's the Korean going? Slow. I don't want to say lazy, like I'm still doing it every day. I'm on like a 90-day streak. That's fine. But I find myself kind of pressed for time, so I'll do one lesson of new stuff that I have to think about, and then I'll do one lesson that's like really easy stuff that I already know, and eventually it'll stop letting me do that. So that's a strategy that it's got an expiration date on it. But pretty good. I hit a big roadblock once it asked me to start typing in Korean, and I had to actually think about not only how things sound, but like reverse, like figure out which, because there's a bunch of characters that make sounds that sound exactly the same to me, and I know what the word sounds like, but I don't necessarily know how to spell it. My Korean spelling sucks. Real bad. But I'm working on it. I can spell Hyundai Motors, so we're off to a good start. Kitty, cat dog, morning Hazel. You look cute today. Why, thank you. This is my sleepy look. I may not keep the hoodie on forever because it's going to get a little bit warm. And I should warn you guys that if in the event, I'm not saying that anybody did, but in the event that you thought that the hoodie looked nice and you wanted to get one, you don't want to get one. It's not very good. It's the zipper on it's really bad, and the print is like super blown out. Like it's like the image that they used for this was not a resolution that needed to be printed on something this big, and the fabric's not great, so it's just a little bit of a bummer. Greetings from rainy Germany. How are you today? I'm doing great. Morning, bad cookie. I mean, I would suppose it's probably afternoon. Speaking of kitties, you coming up here or what? Cat, come. I like to pretend that I've summoned my cat when she was already 100% planning to jump up, although now she might be not doing it despite me. Well, you can get up anytime you want. I have my lap twisted in a way that is accessible to you. So we are running through We're going to be heroic, because it has to be heroic. Zul Gurub, we do not need the Panther boss. We only need the Raptor boss. I already have the Panther mount, so we're just trying for the Raptor. I looked briefly into doing the Ulduar thing, and I don't really want to do that, or at least not yet. I'm saving that for when I really run out of other stuff to do. And I don't really want to do Kitty, this isn't even a lap. You're just walking on my desk. You're just sampling my tea. Bye. I'm gonna try not to fall into the lake. Oh boy. There we go. Yeah, I don't really want to do Ulduar. I don't really want to do new Kara yet. I don't outlevel it enough. Like, I could easily solo it, but it would take a little too long. I'm very impatient with my mount runs. I want to do stuff that I can just get through on a bunch of characters. Great dog cam, how's it going? I would love to watch. I have so much to study. Best of luck with your studies. That is the correct choice to make, and I'm proud of you. Are you able to make it to Blizzcon this year? I sure hope so, because I have all of my tickets. I have my plane ticket, I have my Blizzcon ticket, I have my hotel ticket. I bought a tiny travel-sized kettle because I am going to make myself some tea in my room. And I refuse to use whatever they give you, because I've tried that and it's not okay. So I'm gonna bring tea and a little kettle and like a mug, and one of my first missions on landing in California is going to be to find some milk that I can get that will fit in my hotel room fridge, so that I can have some milk for my breakfast tea, because I don't want to have to. I don't even like coffee. I'm gonna sound really whiny. I don't hate coffee, but I don't like the way people make tea out in the world. So that one is no good. So let's get out of here and move on to the next one. Wait, I want to make tea in my room, so in hindsight, I probably could have just packed a big kettle. Like, it would probably fit. It's not like I'm trying to restrict the amount of bags that I'm taking. I'm not really one to travel light unless it's important to. Like, it's not like I'm dragging my stuff out all over the place. I'm pretty much just gonna set up and stay there for a few days and then go home. Really enjoy your videos. Finally caught a stream. It is 12 a.m. in Australia. Ooh, you need to be looking at getting some. I mean, I don't know when you sleep. Maybe you work nights, but that is late. Late. Alright, so I am getting on to character number 2. I think my druid will still have to fly there because she also keeps her Hearthstone in the Snug Harbor Inn, which is very cozy. I really like all of the, like, how many places there are in Boralus to just sort of sit and hang out if you just want your character to just, like, hang out somewhere cute. I like to take her down to, like, Proudmoore Keep area, and then the shops over there. It's like it's like the rich part of town, and they don't charge you to get in, so you can just sort of hang out by barrel and crate, and you know, window shop. So I guess if I'm already here, I can just fly south. That works. Okay. What's the add-on that gives the score for Azurite trait? I will find out for you. Azurite power weights. I also recommend grabbing Azurite tooltip. That's what lets you see what the traits are just when you mouse over it. So Azurite power weights, Azurite tooltip, and then I got my weights that I put into Azurite power weight from bloodmallet.com. I feel sad watching World of Warcraft. I've been holding off playing till another content release. Well, then why would you, like, I mean, you can either play, and then if you want to play, then you're good. And then if you don't want to play, then that's fine too. I mean, unless you have, like, an important reason to not actually play. You don't have to commit to not playing. You can always come back for, like, a month and then take another break if you're not feeling it. Just received my 100K t-shirt this morning. I was so excited, I immediately put a picture of it on Discord. I love it. Woo! Doggy, pat, pat, pat. I do enjoy giving the dog head pats. I don't think he enjoys it terribly much, but he prefers it to, like, being picked up. So I think he puts up with it. Able to catch a live stream, so excited right now. Welcome, Corey. Hey, Hazel, sup? Just starting on battle pets. Can't find a pet battle start quest. Please help. I'm actually working on a video that's not for today, but for soon, that addresses this. But what you want to do is find the pet battle trainer. So if you are Alliance, you want to go to Stormwind, and you want to go like right here. There's going to be a lady called Audrey. Is her name Audrey Hepburn? It's something like that. And she will offer you battle pet training. Costs 10 gold. You'll train it there, and then she'll start you off with some stuff. What's the cute pup called? That would be a dog. I'm kidding. That wasn't very funny. That's Joker. He is an Alaskan Kleekai. He is 7 years old, and that bed was originally for the cat, but he really likes it, so he just kind of crams himself in there. I actually ordered a second one that should be there. I think maybe it'll be here today, because they're cheap. Like, that bed is like 15 bucks on Amazon, and both of them fight over it. Like, they love it so much. It's like self-warming, which means it's a little crinkly. It's got like space blanket inside it or something. Space blanket foil? I don't know. There's something weird in it that's kind of crinkly but reflects heat, and if your animal doesn't like stepping on anything that makes a noise, they'll hate it. But if they can get over that and realize that it's comfy and fluffy and warm, they will be all about it. Stayed up until 3 a.m. to say hi's. I haven't been in a live stream for a while. Off to bed. Good night, Hazel. Night, Jay. Sulu Nation. Is this a dungeon or raid? This one is a dungeon. This is, I think, the first dungeon that we have, like, spam farmed on a live stream. There are other raids we can do, but aside from Ulduar, most of them are actually mop raids. I think we finished, generally speaking, we finished the Kata raids. I think I have all the mounts from Kata raids. And Wrath raids, and Burning Crusade raids. I think I have all of them. Is that true? I think it is. Good morning, sweetie. Sending good vibes. What's the battle plan for Blizz? Oh, I scrolled and I lost it. Hang on, I'll find it again. Doing recordings there, sample the convention itself. I'm gonna kind of wing it. There might be some stuff going on that I will plan, but I don't know if it's official, so I'm kind of playing it by ear. But I'm trying to keep my expectations very low so that I don't get disappointed, and I don't want to be like frustrated or stressed out about like missing really important stuff. So I'm just gonna, my plan is just to kind of go and survive and hopefully have some fun. I don't know how. I don't really know what. I guess you go to some panels, you watch some esports, I don't know. What do you guys do at BlizzCon? Finally got to catch you live. Congrats on the drop last week. Thank you. Listening and watching you and Soul So Brizzy, like at the same time, or just in general on YouTube, because if you're multitasking at the exact same time, that takes more mental power than I have access to. Sometimes I try and watch YouTube videos and raid at the same time, and it's never a good idea for me. Dad pays me $2 to do mount runs for him. You got a smart dad. That's some cheap labor, that is. My grandmother used to pay us. She had like pretty big yard and lots of pine trees or fir trees around, I suppose. And she used to pay us as kids a penny a pine cone to go pick up pine cones in the yard. So if you went and you picked up like 100 pine cones, you would get $1. And granted, this was like 1999, so inflation wasn't quite what it was, but we were so into that. I was so excited about that. I don't know what I spent my dollar on. I think I saved up over the course of like a year, and then I had $10, and then I bought a Beanie Baby. That was some big spending. I used my Inky Black Potion perpetually in night ambiance. I am the opposite. I can't bring myself to use Inky Black Potions for anything because I can't see anything. I hate when things are too dark. Anytime you load up a new game and it's like, you should, adjust this slider until you can just barely see the dragon. All the way to the brightest that you can possibly be. I don't want the dragon sneaking up on me. Who needs mount hunting? I've been hunting the plate dress Elite Resort drops for a year. Oh no. Heard anything new about Classic? Not really, but I'm sure there will be plenty of good stuff at BlizzCon. I feel like that's kind of what they got this year for BlizzCon. Like there's some Tides of Vengeance stuff, but I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know anything. I'm assuming they'll talk about Tides of Vengeance, but they've given us so much Tides of Vengeance info already in these live streams in the past couple of weeks that I feel like they just kind of blew through a little bit of the surprise stack for damage control. So all they're really holding on to, it feels like, maybe they have surprises that I don't know. It feels like all they're really holding on to for BlizzCon is classic stuff, which doesn't super excite me, but there'll be the take-home demo for people that have the virtual ticket. Good morning. You guys have reminded me I have tea. I need to drink some of this. What's your favorite type of tea? Looking for different teas to try, cut back on caffeine. It depends on how much caffeine you want from your tea and if you want it to taste like coffee or not. I would try a black tea. I would try a nice English breakfast tea with a little bit of milk or sugar, like however you take your coffee, and see how you feel about that. But there's also, it's worth experimenting with there's a whole lot of different options. I usually go through 3 to 5 different types of tea in a day. Morning Hazel. You should take a break after making some gold. This expansion was super easy compared to the last one. I guess it depends on what you do, because a lot of the ways that I make gold were brutally ruined this expansion. I'm doing okay. I'm doing alright. I'm kind of stuck at like 1.2 million, and I'm trying to work towards 5, so I'm not very close. But it's, you know, all the ways that I used to make gold got kind of wrecked. Morning Hazel. Morning Joy. How are you doing? Stormborn of Hazelnuttygames. First of her name. I do think that's true. I miss all the fun downtime in this game. I feel like the downtime is when all the good stuff happens, you know? It's exciting when new content comes out, especially if you have people to play it with, but, you know, all of the there's just so much to do when there's nothing to do, that I feel like those are when I've gotten into the coolest stuff, or the most trouble, or, like, had the most exciting things happen, is when I was just trying to fill time. Not necessarily fill time. I don't know if I've ever actually run out of stuff to do in WoW. There's always something on my list that I can get to. There's 2, a raptor and a panther. I already have the panther, so we're only looking for the raptor today, which does actually speed this up quite a bit. Okay, this is going to be attempt number... It says 11. I swear that Rarity does not know about some of the attempts that I've done, because this is not the first time I've tried farming this boss. I've done this in the past, on and off since Cataclysm, so I feel like I have more than 10. It doesn't really matter, because every attempt is going to be about the same percentage, or exactly the same percentage chance as the last one. That's how RNG works. And run down with the total flu. How are you? Oh no, I'm doing better than that. That sucks. I hope that passes soon. Or that I always hope that it passes soon. But I also hope you've got something kind of relaxing to keep you busy while you recover. You know, some good movies, some good games, a little bit of WoW if you can play. I hope you're having a good morning. What kind of tea are you drinking? It sounds cool. So this is a Kenilworth Ceylon that was gifted to me on the last fan mail time. It's delightful. It's a black tea, I believe, and I might be a little wrong. I always, whenever they're not Chinese, I get the Africans and the Indian teas mixed up. And it's hard to describe what it tastes like. It's hearty. It's got some fist wiggle to it. Watching and making pancakes. I had a pretty good bagel for breakfast. We got some fancy cream cheese this time around. Normally with my bagels, I prefer like onion everything type bagels. And for whatever reason, I prefer those ones with butter and not cream cheese. Like cream cheese is fine on like a fruity bagel, but I usually have them with butter. But we got this like garlic herb cream cheese, and I had that this morning. It was pretty good. It was like 12 minutes until the stream started, and I'm just like sitting here eating my bagel, like looking at a ticking timer, being like, I have like 8 minutes to finish consuming this. Brush my teeth so that I don't have poppy seeds in my teeth. I think I did good. And didn't get back to get the stream on. When I go to Blizzcon, I spend all my money on merch. I want to buy at least one souvenir, whether it be from BlizzCon or, you know, from Disney World or Universal Studios or whatever. You know, I want to bring back at least one souvenir that I like souvenirs. I like having a thing to remember the trip by, as long as it fits into my existing collections and it's not just like a thing. But, I don't know. Do they usually... So, I know that they have the BlizzCon merch pre-sale. And that's happening right now. You can browse the stuff that they have available on the gear store. And you can buy it now if you want. If you have the virtual ticket or a BlizzCon ticket. And I looked through all that. And I didn't really like any of the WoW stuff. They didn't have any new WoW plushies. So my question, actually, I was going somewhere with that. My question is it typical for them to have more stuff that they release at the convention? Or is that it? Are we done? My boyfriend bought a bed for my kitty when we bought our house. My cat would not use it at all until I turned it inside out. 8 months later, he uses it now. It's such a bizarre and obscure science trying to make a cat accept a bed. Especially, like, when we first got that one, she wouldn't touch it. And I was upset because I knew she would like it. I've seen all these other, like, streamers that have it on their cat cams. And videos on YouTube of people with that bed and their cats just, like, won't even get out of it. And I knew she would like it because she loves anything warm. You know, she's a cat. Most of them do. But she didn't want to walk in it at first. And I would, like, put treats in it. And I would And it took a while, but once she got into it, she didn't get out of it much. Thanks for the raid, guys. They help a lot. Thanks for watching them, Hazard-Games. Appreciate that. I had tea and crumpets on Sunday because the football game was in London. How did you enjoy your crumpets? Actually, now that I think of it, what is a crumpet? I always imagined a crumpet being kind of like an English muffin, but I never liked English muffins. Maybe I just had bad ones as a child, but they were always... Something about them just didn't sit quite right with me. This will be my 5th BlizzCon. So much to do. Get the app. It'll help you around. A couple of battery chargers. If you have a good camera, bring it as well to take pics. The cosplays are amazing. I'm gonna bring my camera. Or a camera. I'm gonna bring... I don't know which cameras to bring, actually. Like, I don't want to bring anything that I would be upset... Well, I'd be upset if I damaged or lost any of them. But I don't want to bring, like this one, really, because I use this for everything, and if something did happen to it, I would have a hard time. This is the more expensive one. I could probably bring my other camera. And then, I have a backup battery charger. I have, I'm probably gonna post a tweet or, like, maybe ask in a vlog and get some comment suggestions of, like, BlizzCon tips. Because, some of you guys are veterans, and you probably have some good advice. Like, I've heard the basic stuff, like, have a water bottle, bring good shoes, you know, get a reasonable amount of sleep, shower. I plan to. You know, the normal convention stuff. I've never done BlizzCon. I have done a couple of conventions before, like years ago. When I was like 13, 14, 15-ish. I did anime conventions. I was pretty into anime as a young teenager. And I cosplayed for that. And we did like Anime Expo in Vancouver. We did Anime... was it Anime Evolution? Anime Expo? I forget. I've done some conventions. And all of that advice seems to be pretty universal. Are you working at Blizzard? No. No. New Diablo announcement? I mean, it would be about time, wouldn't it? Or did they say they're just going to double down on Diablo 3? Maybe Diablo 3 is just their new World of Warcraft. They're just going to keep making expansions for it, and that's it. Diablo for your Nokia flip phone. Oh man. You know what I think would be the most hype thing they could do that there is a possibility of? I don't know what the chances are of this. They're probably not very good, but I feel like based on what they've said in a variety of stuff, I think we know. Maybe I just dreamed this, but I'm pretty sure that we know that they're working on a new game. And I think it might be new IP. We don't know anything more than that as far as I know. But if that was ready, I don't know how long it takes that kind of thing to be ready. I don't know how long they've been working. I don't even know if it's real, but like if they announced a new game with new IP, kind of Overwatch style, that would be the most hype thing that could happen this year, at least for me. There's nothing else that I can really think of that they could really hit us with announcement-wise that would actually put my jaw on the floor. Diablo in Skyrim now on Smart Fridge. Oh man, I do enjoy how they just keep putting Skyrim on the weirdest things. Why did your mount drop when I wasn't looking? I'm sad since there's no reaction video. You deserve all the mounts. I thought about doing like making the clip of the reaction like I did with the Ashes thing, but what I ended up doing is I timestamped it. So if you go to the VoD, which is I'm pretty sure labeled as the mount dropped, and you go to the timestamp, then you can see the moment of it. It's not gone. It's the same thing as the other one. I just didn't clip a separate video. That's all. All right, we finally got in here. There we go. Make a video on the ways you make gold. You're creeping on my post-it notes. Oh no, you can't see this from here, can you? I have post-it notes in my monitor of like the videos that I want to do over like imminently, and that is actually one of them. It's on there. Home with a sick baby. Glad to catch your stream for once. Oh no. Have to play my own mage when I see you play. I'm on bank call? I mean, I do enjoy slapping icicles at people. I ran through, oddly enough, I ran through the Tanan Jungle quest last night for a thing. Not the Tanan Jungle, the Tanan Jungle openers, like the Blasted Lands. The ones that give you the Iron Starlight. I ran through those again. And I did them on my mage, and because Ice Lance one-shots things, and because whatever talent I have makes Ice Lance cleave to 2 targets, you can just walk up to 2 people and basically slap them in melee range and just get them both with big icicles. It was hilarious. I quite enjoyed that. That felt pretty good. Oh no! Yeah. Can just disengage up the hill. That's some 3D strats. Forcing my boyfriend to watch while we eat dessert. What do you guys got for dessert, though? I've made, I don't know if I told you guys about this. I was about to, maybe I did. I was gonna tell you guys, not that it matters. It's not an announcement or anything. This has no relevance to anybody, but I made tiramisu last week, or on the weekend or something recently. And I was gonna tell you guys about it, but then I felt guilty because I'm not streaming it. I feel so guilty. Oh man, the achievement freaks me out every time. I feel so guilty every time I bake now. Anytime I make so much as a cookie, I'm just sitting there staring at it being like, but baking streams aren't back yet. Am I even allowed? Is this morally okay? I don't know. I think I'm breaking a rule. But yeah, I made tiramisu. And it was a couple nights ago. And I think today, or last night, was the day that it really came into itself. It was pretty darn good. Although I did go a little too heavy on the rum with it. It's a little bit alcoholic. I should get a tattoo all over there. That feels like it would be probably a bit of an impulse tattoo, and I would like to do some more planning. I do plan on getting more tattoos. I've just been very lazy about actually taking the step of making an appointment. So I'd want to do some research to make sure I'm getting an artist that can deal with what I want. And also the tattoos that I want to get next are probably going to take more than one session, so I probably can't just do it on a trip. If you go to Disney, get a turkey leg and a churro. I don't actually eat turkey. But I could probably do a churro. I've only ever had them once or twice in my life. You don't get a whole lot of them up in Canada, or at least maybe I didn't go to the right places. I didn't spend a whole lot of time in fairs. But they were quite delightful. Have you ever tried streaming on Twitch, or is it harder? I streamed on Twitch for a couple of years. Probably longer than I've been streaming on YouTube. And I just like it here better for a couple of reasons. I made a video that goes through all of them, but this just works for me. More stuff at the con. What mount are you getting? We are trying for the Raptor from Zul Gurub. We're looking for the, what's it called? A Swift Rizashi Raptor, is that it? It's the one that you can still get and not the one that you can't get anymore. Zul. Armored Rizashi Raptor, that's the one. So we're looking for this thing. It has a chance to drop off of Mandakir. I already have the Panther. I have the Swift Zulian Panther, so we're all set on that front. Dungeon, hurrah, there we go. Okay. Finally got the Skull Ripper mount. Congrats, Elena. Did you see the video about the 3D engine improvements? I did not see that, no. Multi-threaded. Seriously? Oh, I need to check that out. It is time. It is time that WoW was able to take advantage of more than one thread. That's incredible. Or softer English muffin, very tasty. Got to try them when I was in England. A lot of things like that I don't want to try outside of England because I don't want to be ruined by a bad experience. Like, you know, you see on TV, like, scones and like, jam and clotted cream, and it looks really good. But if I somehow manage to find clotted cream over here, which is all hard, you'd probably have to go to an import place. I've never seen it. It probably wouldn't be the same. So I just want to wait until I one day have an excuse to go to England. And then try it there somewhere, and probably pay too much at a tourist place to have some like fancy tea. There we go. Have you been to Disneyland before? I have never been to Disneyland in California. However, I have done Disney World in Florida twice, or 3 times if you count going as an infant. I went as like a tiny baby that I don't remember. But I've done Orlando a few times, and I'm assuming it's much the same. Honestly, from the sounds of it, I'm assuming that Orlando is better because it's bigger and it's got, like, Animal Kingdom and safaris and stuff. And that was my favorite part. I like the animals. I like the characters. I don't really like rides much. I'm not much for that. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot at Disneyland for me. But maybe it'll be worth it. Hand sanitizer is essential. Oh, that's a good idea. Halfway between a savory pancake and an English muffin. Hazel, I have to say, thanks for all the pet battle videos. Thanks, Grinzo. Finally able to check a mount stream live. Welcome to Tuesday. I am starting to feel a little bit more like an awake human being. I have gotten so awake from this tea that I've actually remembered that I didn't finish my original story. I was talking about doing my Mythic Plus last week on a gamepad that had a dead key, and it was my Mind Blast key. So what I did was I moved my Mind Blast to like one of my mouse keys that wasn't super important, and I was trying to like press it in my rotation, And after you've been playing a certain way on a certain key setup for a couple of years or a lot of years, I don't know how many it's been, you just kind of lose your ability to change, or at least not change that quickly. I was pretty useless, and so what I ended up doing is I just put it back, and then I would click on it. Like, I would use my keys for most of my keys, but if I had to play Mind Blast, I had to click it because the key didn't work. And then I ended up, like, clicking other things, and then I was, like, accidentally dragging spells off of my bars mid-boss fight, and then being like, wow, I can't use my Void Bolt because I dragged it off my bar and I'm running away from spiders. It was an Intelligence 10. It was terrible. I am never playing with a dead key ever again. And I'm kind of bummed because I like, checked the date on... I checked the date on the video that I made when I first got the Orb Weaver, because that's the closest thing I have to remembering when I bought it. And it's like a year and a half ago, so if I got it a little bit before I made that video, it's been like maybe 2 years at most, and I think that's about average for a Razor product, but I'm kind of bummed out. This one is, so I replaced it is what happened. I bought a new one, because they don't even sell G13s anymore. Like, that floored me. I don't know when that happened, but you can't, at least on Amazon, you can't get a first-hand G13 anymore. Like, they're really expensive for some reason, because maybe they're not making them anymore. And I'm not going back to playing on a keyboard if I don't have to. So I ended up having to buy a Razer Orb Weaver Chroma. So it's got different colors now, which I don't need. But it's not a stealth. Like the last one I had the stealth, so it was quieter. This one's not as quiet, but I don't think it really matters because it occurred to me I almost never record while playing. The only times I'm ever really doing that is if I'm streaming. And my mic is like so far over here, it barely even picks up my voice, so I don't think I need to worry about my keys. Graphing calculators are the most underrated game console. So the TI calculator from like 15 years ago, they're not cheap. Yeah, I mean, when you spent that much to get it for school, it feels bad to throw it out or sell it. Do people have to, like, can people buy them secondhand if they still need, do people still need those for school? Can't you just, do they let you use an iPhone app for calculating? They're probably not. It's probably too cheat heavy. Do they still make you buy really expensive graphing calculators? I don't think they made us buy them. I feel like in the 2 classes in my education that required graphing calculator, they had some in the class that we were able to use, and that we didn't need them for anything else. I feel like they were already starting to phase them out by the time I went through school, so maybe they're gone though now. I'll be going to BlizzCon and cosplaying as Hazel. Just need to get the... You're not. You're not. You're trolling. That would be funny though. The joke would be that it's impossible to get the hair color right because it's different every week because it fades. Got dinner right on time just before the stream. We were eating vla. It's a basic Dutch dessert, like custard, less sweet and less viscose. That sounds good. A lot of, not even European, just desserts that aren't American tend to be surprisingly delightful because, shockingly, when you don't completely drown something in sugar, you can taste more stuff. Easy to make clotted cream. Do you make it from whipped cream? How does that work? What's the deal with that? I don't know how it gets clotted, actually. That's not a verb that you usually apply to food. Do you have ball yet? No, not yet. Not yet. Clotted cream sounds nasty. I dislike the word. The word definitely doesn't do it any favors, or at least from a North American standpoint. Hi from Mama C. Love your content. Hello. How you guys doing this week? Have you a simple armory? Useful for figuring out the mounts? I have, actually. I feature it in my, the video was a while ago, but in the one where, did I just run this character? I did. Talking about how to get started with mount runs. I'm gonna make a new one, though. Like, what's clotting it? That is my question, is how does the cream go from being creamed to being clotted? It looks good. It doesn't sound good. Why do you drink with a metal straw instead of plastic? Well, this is a hot drink, so I don't want to use a plastic straw that's going to be potentially leaching whatever into my drink. Also, it tends to taste kind of funny if you're using a plastic straw with a hot drink. This one is also washable and reusable. I can just throw it through the dishwasher and it's clean again, so I don't have to be throwing out a whole bunch of plastic. It means I don't have to buy them over and over again, and I prefer having a straw with my tea to help get the tea past my teeth, because I have teeth that are fairly easily ruined by everything, so anything that I can just eat faster tends to help out. How old is she? If you're talking about me, I'm 26. It's odd in the third person, though. I do read this. Nice flowery clothing. I think it's flowery. It is flowery. Another word is floral. Usually, like if you see people talking about something floral, that also means flowery, but both words work. I want to start playing. Don't know what class I should play. Mage felt boring. I would just try out a couple. Just see what looks cool. Like if you like the look of the armor and the weapons for a class, you can usually then you'll usually have a decent understanding of what you're gonna feel like, kind of. I don't know. I would also start by narrowing down, do you want to be a DPS, healer, or tank? And then from there, if you decide to be a DPS, do you want to be a ranged or melee DPS? Because that'll narrow your options down a lot. And that's kind of a good place to start. I still have my Razor Nostromo, and I got that in 2013. It's showing its age, though. Oh, I bet. I mean, I only had the Orb Weaver for 2 years at most, and I had already worn the coating off of the top of most of the keys. Like, about half of them had a big old bald spot where my fingers have mashed it feverishly. But I am surprised that you've had that since 2013. Maybe I just got a bad one. Maybe I just didn't got it dead. I bought a 4-year protection plan for this one because it was like $4 on Amazon. I was like, fine. If you think you're going to fix this thing after it fails in a year, then sure, why not? I'll let you try. Germany, we need to buy them. They cost around 130 euros. Oof. Oh. I had to buy a T84 plus silver for high school, still using in college, but I'll probably sell it once I'm done. If you can at least get the value out of it in your post-secondary education, that's something. That is something. I was allowed to use my phone in math class, but professor needed to okay the app. Okay. I'm fascinated by how that all works because I went to high school. I finished school before smartphones. Before smartphones were widespread. Like, people had phones. We had flip phones. And you could text. Like, texting was huge. People would have, like, limited text messages. So if you got a text from somebody and you knew they were on a limited plan, you were like, wow, they must really like me because they're using one of their, like, 50 texts on me. But smartphones were kind of like, what was the iPhone came out? Like 2000, was it 7, 8, 9? I graduated in 2010, so maybe they were out, but people didn't really have them yet, at least not in my school. Clotted cream is amazing. Hit the like button. Put heavy cream in the oven on low heat for like 18 hours. Seriously? So do people do that at home in England, or is it just something that you buy and that's how you would make it if you really felt like overachieving? I am farming for a raptor mount. Got my 4th tattoo last Sunday. How'd that go? I do have the panther mount. I have never tried a bamboo straw. Not once. I feel like it would be harder to clean. I don't know if that's true, but that's kind of my initial impression. 12 hours in a low heat. Crazy. I almost want to try that, but I almost don't. Baking a dairy product just weirds me out. I guess sometimes I use dairy, like I bake lots of things with cheese. Is that different? It feels different. I don't know why. Every time I join the stream, y'all talking about tea. Mages are a good first tune because they can get around so easily. I think they're a good last tune because they can get around so easily. Like, if you can play everything and decide that mage is what you want to be, you are set for teleportation for life. It counts since you've installed it unless the bosses or attempts are in your stats. That's why I'm thinking it's probably not counting this one. Like, it retroactively counted the ICC attempts because those are, like, raid bosses tend to be in the statistics pane, but I don't think it's been counting the ZG attempts. Disneyland isn't as humid. That is a good point. Orlando was, like, walking in a shower. It was, I mean, I always went during the summer, like, early summer, and it was always very warm and very, very humid. Which, I mean, it's not the worst thing. My hair doesn't deal with it well, clearly. But, you know, you're at Disneyland. You're not there to look good. You're there to have fun. Disney World is my favorite. You have to learn how to program the TI. It wasn't so much graphing math as knowing how to use the device. The cream content rises to the surface and forms clots or clouts. Does anybody call them clouds? The word floral is reserved for granny clothing. We're reclaiming the floral clothing, though. I feel like we're taking it back. You know, the hipsters are... we're taking it back. Do you plan to make a video about the new pet dungeon? I do, yes. Hopefully before it comes out. That's the goal. That's the dream. College class 2 years ago, I was 27, but in high school I used a TI-84. If you come to England and want the best clotted cream, go to the county of Devon. They have the best there. What else is in Devon? I feel like I've heard people talk about Devon, and I don't know what else is there. Is it touristy? Is it historical? Is it just like a suburb that's got a real good coffee shop? Or tea? Do you have coffee shop? You must. Everybody drinks coffee. Some countries don't drink as much of it, but I'm pretty sure coffee is taken over everywhere. iPhone was 2008. Okay, that makes sense then. That makes sense. Yeah, I had a red thing. I don't think I could even tell you what it was. Maybe I could find out. I was very excited about it. Am I not? I keep setting my raid difficulty, and I keep forgetting to set my dungeon difficulty. I bought a Nostromo when Swifty made his video about this. Still haven't. It works. Not sure how long that is, but it's old. Maybe those ones last longer. What about the Tartarus? Anybody have a Tartarus that's just been kicking around forever? Bamboo straws are nice. Your pronunciation of Vlau is spot on. I'll send you a care package from the Netherlands. The stroopwafels and licorice are a must. No Vlau, though. It's a dairy product. Anything that cannot live in a post office for a couple of weeks is a no-go, but I feel like from what I've seen of stroopwafels and licorice, they're probably okay. I've seen stroopwafels on the internet, and they intrigue me. And also, I saw them when they made them on that one episode of the baking show, the Great British Bake Off. But I don't think I've ever tried any. Would you ever get a WoW-related tattoo? I don't think so. I don't want... And maybe I'll change my mind. I'm always open to changing my mind about most things. But I don't really want anything that is at all and in any way related to pop culture. I would prefer all of them to be completely nature-based. And not like pop culture nature. Like not a Teldrassil or a thing from a book or a story or a game. I want them to be completely not related to those things. I mean, I don't think it's bad to have WoW tattoos. I greatly admire the ones other people get. I just don't want it for my own skin. I have like a theme going almost, and I'm gonna try and stick to my theme. And well, so far my theme is just like trees and stuff. Plants and animals. Maybe a landscape. Bought my wife some bamboo straws that came with her own cleaning brush. Tough day for me, so happy to see you. I hope that your day improves. And if not, I hope that you at least get through it and there's gonna be a better one tomorrow. Hunter is the best starter tune. I would agree with that. 12 years ago, I had to buy one, used it in college, but you didn't stick into mathy majors. He got rid of that thing a decade ago. I wonder how many of them are just living in people's, like, attics and storage just because they feel bad getting rid of it because it was so expensive, but when are you ever going to use it? Did you say tune or characters? I think I say both. How old are you? 26. I'm 26 years old. It's weird how useful those calculators can be. Maybe I'm missing out. Maybe there's things in my life that would have been easier had I had it. You never know. You never know what you're missing sometimes until you learn. Yesterday discovered an editing tool that I've just been kind of overlooking for like, you know, as long as I've been doing YouTube, 5 years, whatever. Kind of didn't really worry about it, and I finally figured out what it did. And now I feel real dumb because I have been wasting not a ton of time. It's not like it's not a huge thing, but it'll help. It'll help for sure. Glasgow is perma-rain. I do come from perma-rain. Or not perma-rain, but I come from a fairly rainy area. BC is pretty rainy as far as rain goes, especially Vancouver Island, and I'm pretty used to rain. You know, you just get a good raincoat, you get a good umbrella, you're good. We need more rain in Cali. I don't mind rain. You know, if you've got the right gear for it, you got a nice waterproof coat, get yourself a nice umbrella if you're into that kind of thing, or just make sure your coat's got a hood. Get yourself some nice shoes or boots that are actually waterproof and not only kind of waterproof. And then you're pretty much good. The only place where I have a vulnerability in my rain walking setup right now is my pants. I don't have any kind of waterproof pants. And I don't want anything like snow pants. It's going to be super loud and like swishy when I'm walking. I want it to be quiet, but I also need them to be more water resistant because if I go for a walk and it's like really raining, I end up with very wet knees. And they get cold. I don't want my knees to be cold. Maybe thinking of Dover? I live in Irvine. It's rained for 1 day. It's just pure sun again. The rain made me so happy. That's when nights with friends are the best. Yeah. I think I would... When I was talking to some people when I visited Irvine, and they all kind of seem to have this attitude about the weather of like, yeah, it's great, and we're not allowed to complain about it because everybody wants it, and it's just like sunny and nice all the time, so we're not allowed to complain, but we miss having weather. Is kind of the consensus I got from a couple different people. Lord only knows why I couldn't think of a more interesting question to ask people than what do you think of the weather. That's all I had, apparently. But almost everybody said something along the lines of, you know, I miss when it changed and when some days were different than other days because it's weird and it's not right. It doesn't feel right. Razer keyboard and headphones were broken in the first year, no more Razer for me. I found some of their devices are more durable than others. Like The headphones I find have a pretty bad track record, and the keyboards tend to do better, which is why I was surprised that the failure that I had in the gamepad was a key failure. I was surprised that I managed to wear out a mechanical key. I did clean it. That was my first try. I did take it apart and clean it, and that worked for like a second, and then it completely failed, and then I was sad. Mine is still in storage at my parents' house. The husky's name is Joker, and he is actually technically an Alaskan Kleekai because he's very tiny. It's hard to see from there, but he is actually in a he's actually in a cat bed. He's in a cat bed. He is a little baby boy, although he is an old baby boy because he's a mini. They don't get that big, but his name is Joker. Is the question. Tuesdays are always terrible. Tuesdays. What's wrong with Tuesdays? Tuesday's a perfectly good day. You know, days I used to always really like was Thursdays. Thursdays were always the jam, you know? It was almost Friday, and Fridays were great, you know? And it's, when I went to school, Fridays were kind of usually, if there was any time wasting to be going on, or like special events, or, you know, getting out early, or weird days where you had class outside and you got to like throw cornstarch at each other, that stuff always happened on Fridays. So Fridays were kind of chill, and then Thursdays were like almost Fridays. And then I had, I think, music lessons on Thursdays, and those were always fun. And, like, Thursdays was, like, band class day. That was real cool. Thursdays were always good. Alright, no dice there. I lived in Victoria for about 10 years, but I'm living in Vancouver now. Which one did you prefer, having done both? Which one do you prefer and why? I'm curious. I was always terrified of Vancouver. It was too loud for me. If I get a gaming tattoo, it's going to be an Atari 2600 joystick. I would get Arthas with his Lich King helmet off. You should go for a long coat that covers your knees. I do have, so my coat is pretty long. It would have to be a really long coat to cover my knees, though. They're pretty far down. I guess if it's like a trench coat, like if you get like a rainy trench coat, then maybe. That's not a bad idea. All these how old questions are giving me ASL flashbacks. Can I join? I do these on my own. I fly solo for these. It's just faster. Playing TF2. The Greetech switches are pretty sketch. Surprised that a switch came out rather than the PCB though. Yeah. I mean, the first thing that gives out on these things is always inevitably this pad right here. Unless they've changed it. I'm gonna find out if they've changed it because this one's brand new, so we'll see if it wears out. But the glue that holds those things on melts with heat, such as the heat that comes from a hand when you put it on there, as in normal use, and the glue will melt and the thing will slide off. And that happens with all of them. It's not something that really concerns me because now that I know that it happens, I just buy a little thing of super glue with the gamepad so that when it falls off, I can just clean off the glue and glue it back on with something that will stick. Maybe they fixed it, we'll see. But that is inevitably the first thing that fails, is I have never had one of these from Razer. I guess I've only ever had 1, 2, 3, I don't know, few, but they've all, every single one, like it's a, like from what I've read online, it's just a bad design choice, and I sincerely hope that they've decided to use a better glue at some point in the last 5 years or so, but maybe not, we'll see. Razer's all flash, no substance. I mean, if anybody else would make a mechanical gamepad, a mechanical gaming keypad for MMOs, I would buy it, but I have a bad feeling that Logitech's just getting out of that game altogether. Like, I don't think that many people use them. I'm gonna be real bummed if they ever, like, actually stop being available and I have to go, oh no! I've entered too many instances. I'm under my hour. Oh dear. I'm gonna be bummed out if they ever stop being available and I have to actually convert back to a keyboard because, I don't know. You have to use your two best fingers just to move. And then, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I move with my thumb and then I have all my other fingers for stuff. You're tall? I'm relatively tall. I'm not, like, crazy tall. Although, I do plan on wearing some shoes with a heel. Not to, like, all of BlizzCon, but at least to, like, a thing or two. Just because I want to be extra tall. Because, you know, sometimes when you have something going for you, you just want to commit to that. And hope that people overlook all of your other flaws. I'm getting a Jigglypuff tattoo. Is this the boss that kidnapped my raptor back in Stranglethorn Vale? Yes, it is, actually. I hope your runs are going well. Thanks, Patrick. This must be Thursday. I could never get the hang of Thursdays. What's that from? Hey, fellow tea lover geek. Greetings from Switzerland. Thanks for the useful videos. Cheers. Thanks for checking them out and for visiting the live stream. Corsair's okay. I like the mouse. Corsair stuff's been pretty good for me. I don't think I've ever had something from Corsair that messed me up. I've never bought one of their keyboards or anything. I like Logitech stuff too much, so if I get if I can get a Logitech version of a thing, I'm probably just gonna buy the Logitech one. But, yeah, my Corsair, actually, I think my favorite Corsair thing is I have a Hydro H, I think I have an H80 water cooler in my PC. I wanted the H100, but I don't think I needed it back then. I think it's an H80 in there. And that thing is an absolute monster. The computer never really gets over 50 degrees Celsius, and I make it do some work. It's insane. And I don't think my air routing is very good. I don't think my cable management is very good. I only dust it like twice a year, and it's still perfect. I don't even think I installed it right. It just makes up for all of my failures. Don't panic, the dog is gone. Joker, where'd you go, bud? Oh, you know, though, if the dog's gone, I mean, I'm just biding time until it lets me into this raid again. So I'm gonna go move the camera, because, I mean, if there's no dog, then I may as well show you guys some fish. I mean, they need to eat breakfast anyways. I did because I go completely blind when I set that up. It looks like I angled it kind of far down, but I think I can adjust that. Look at my fishies. Oh, they're so cute. I didn't feed them yet, but I'll do that when I have to get up. I've got a couple more minutes before I can enter another raid anyway, so if I can figure this. And we want to go tilt it up. Hi, yeah, that's the stuff. That's a good spot. Let me close some blinds to see if I can help out some of that light pollution. And actually, we can zoom out a little bit. We don't need to be quite that far in. Alright, let me see if I can... Oh! Let me see if I can fix some of the glare. A little bigger. We're just biding our time. I'll get back to WoW as soon as it lets me. There's got to be a better way to reduce light pollution because, as you can see, the blinds clearly don't close all the way. I wonder if I hung like a towel over the front of the tank and the back of the camera. I wonder if that would help a lot. I'm getting a gnome shadow priest tattoo. Portland is portrayed as really hipster and artsy. Is that true? Kinda, yeah. Most of it. A lot of it. Not all of it. As with anywhere, you're gonna get all sorts of different types of people. Many of them want nothing to do with that, and the nice thing about Portland is I feel like nobody's really gonna look at you funny. For really any reason, you know, everybody has seen something weirder, so it's a very accepting place to be, I found. I prefer Victoria, I could walk everywhere. In Vancouver, it rains more, the transit's awesome, but people aren't as friendly here. I move for work. That concurs with my experience. Excited for Hallow's End? No. Are they adding anything good this year? Is there anything in the... Like, there was one holiday that I thought there was some stuff in the journal for, but if it's the same stuff as it has been, then I don't really have a good reason to do it. Left-handed, so the mini pads don't work for me. That is true. I use a ball mouse for gaming when I grew up. Everyone looked at me like I was crazy. So when you say a ball mouse, do you mean like not a laser mouse, but a mouse with a roller ball underneath it? Or do you mean one of the mice that has like the thumb ball? Because my mom used to have one of those. Don't you just love Zul Trash? Oh. Zul Trash feels like it should be over when you're about at the halfway point. I don't know if you know Riven. I got her sword with a banner around it. I don't know Riven, but that does sound like an amazing tattoo. Your Pepper's Lil has the same behavior as my husky Lulu. He's got a lot of husky traits. He's very aloof. He doesn't like people. He doesn't really like to be touched. I mean, I'm sure there are many huskies that are friendlier than he is. He's not aggressive. He's not mean. He's not going to bite anybody. He would just rather leave. He's, that's not true. He'll bite puppies. He won't bite people, but if there is a puppy and he has a chance to bite it, he won't hurt it, but he tries to play really rough with them, and nobody's having that, so we don't let him play with puppies. Worried about losing airtime runs back into the frame. Your hair dye faded pretty fast. It does that. Totally fine. Not a problem. I'm probably going to let it fade, like, really, really fade and, like, grow it super far before I go get it done so that I can save money on having to pay somebody to do it. That's how you know he was up to no good off frame. He was laying on the couch, which he knows he's not supposed to do. Like, the faded shade matches the gnome hair color. I think it's getting pretty close to gnomish. Look at my corridors. They're so wiggly. Ugh. The little black and white ones are called panda corridors. They get to a maximum size of about 2 inches. They're probably like an inch. The biggest one might be an inch and a half, so they're not quite full grown yet, but they're a little shrimpy. They are bottom feeders. You can see them kind of like rooting around in the bottom looking for food. I believe they are native to South America and come from rivers around there. And they can live for, I think, 7 to 10 years if taken care of properly. These ones are little babies. There are 5 of them in there. And then you see the yellow fish that just went behind a leaf. She might come back out. That is a honey gourami. Those are native to, I believe, northern India-ish. Just kind of Southeast Asia. Those are, her full size is about what she is now. So she's about 2 inches long. She's about fully grown. She eats everything. She has 2 long little fins in the bottom. I want her to come back so she can show you. Those are her ventral fins, and she actually uses them kind of as feelers to tap things, and it's really cute because she'll go up to another fish and she'll like tap it to say hi, and then the fish runs away because they're not gouramis. They don't know. They're just like, stop touching me. Ew. It's great. World of Fish. I would trade San Francisco for Portland in a heartbeat. I think I'm in a pretty good spot. I wouldn't actually mind, I think, living in Washington because it would be closer to home. And I don't mind the rain and the gloominess and being slightly colder, so I could get away with Washington, but do you ever use war mode? Never. 100% no. I got your Squirrel Squad shirt. I like it. Feels very soft. I like the shirts. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the shirts. I'm excited to do some more of them. Favorite WoW YouTuber, thanks for some fun, informative older boss guides. Thanks for watching them. So there's a minnow that I just saw. If you see a slim-bodied one that's got like red on the tail with a black dot, maybe one will come by. They don't normally get down that low. You can see one kind of towards the top. That is a White Cloud Mountain minnow. Those are actually native to the mountains of China, the White Cloud Mountain in China. They don't really live there anymore. They were almost collected to extinction, but they breed so readily in captivity that they're always available in the trade. There's one. So there should be 6 of those in there. I have 3 males and 3 females. That's a male right there. You can see he's got like a little bit of white tipping to his fins. The back fin's red. Those are cooler water fish. So this whole tank is running about 74 degrees. Nobody asked, but I'm telling you anyway because I'm killing time. Because these fish prefer it to be a little bit cooler than normal tropical temperatures. Those ones actually come from pretty cold spring waters, but they're very flexible, so they'll deal with whatever. And then I want Neff to come out. I want to show you my Bolivian ram. There's 4 types of fish in there, so there's only one left that you haven't seen. He'll come by eventually. This is just a very small portion of the overall tank. It's about 2.5 feet long, 30 inches long. That's 2 and a bit feet long. Let me see if I can get this right now, or into this dungeon. Here we go. Are we good? Can I go? Not yet. Not yet. Almost. World of Fish. If you could reincarnate as one figure from WoW, who would it be? Who has like a real chill life? Who gets to just like hang out in a palace somewhere? Most of World of Warcraft, it seems very stressful or very dangerous, and I don't know, man. Find me a patron of the shops in Uptown Borough in Kulturis. I want Neff to come back. Buddy, he'll come if I go over there. He always comes to see you. He's like really friendly, or he just wants you to feed them. Oh yeah, I was gonna drop some food in there. I was gonna drop some food in there for them. They had a fast day yesterday, so they should be pretty hungry. Let's grab a little bit of that. He should have come. There he is. He's on the left side of the frame. That's Neff. He's doing good. He's a Bolivian ram. He's got a little bit of growing to do still. I am 65% sure that he's a male. I've still entered too many instances recently. There he is. Yeah. So he's going to color up more as he gets bigger. And some of it doesn't come through the webcam, but he's a pretty little dude. He'll scoop up food off the ground and then kind of grind it in its throat and then spit out the rest of the sand. He will also steal it from the quarries if he thinks that they have something good. Alright. Native to South America, they can be up to 9 years old. It's born in Seattle. It's a little different than Portland. Similar. Stay out of actual Seattle if you don't like big cities. I've visited Seattle quite a few times, and I'm kind of feeling that way. Like, it's a nice enough for a city. I just hate cities. I hate being downtown. It's too loud. There's too much going on. I don't like it. I don't like it being loud or busy. I like quiet places that have like nice green spaces to walk in, that are quiet without a lot going on, without a whole ton of people, and it just doesn't match with cities. San Francisco has trees, but it's not great. Baking streams planned. Baking streams will start up once I have got my computer built, and right now the thing I'm kind of waiting for in the computer, and maybe I just need to let go of the stream, but I have been trying to get my hands on a 2080 Ti, and you just can't buy them right now. They're just sold out everywhere. I have notifications for like a whole bunch of different vendors, and I'm just not fast enough. I just don't buy them fast enough. There he is. Oh, you can see him real good there. He's got a little bit of pink on the top and the bottom of his back fin. He's got a little black stripe over his eye. He's got like a little yellow pink belly. Ugh. I love him. They're so cute. He'll just come stare at you, which is nice because that's what I like. I'm there to stare at them. So when he stares back at me, I don't feel so bad about it. He also likes to see if there's any food in the moss ball. He like pecks at it. Yeah. All right. Prefer Kulturus or Zandalar? I prefer Kulturus. I like the realisticness of it. Like, it feels more like a place that would actually be a real place, or at least a real place that I've seen. I'm sure there are jungles in the world that feel very similar to Zandalar, but I've never been to any of those, and I have been to cold, rainy places that remind me of Kulturus. I just got here just in time for fishies. We have giant sequoia forest, and you can't shake a stick at that. Booty Bay over Boralus. I sent you the picture on Twitter. You know, soda fountain drinks in restaurants. I can envision you investing in a giant one that dispenses tea. Neff is colored up. I can see all the pink on him now. I think he's got more coloring to do, but he definitely seems way happier in the big tank. He loves it there. There she is. There is a vacuum cleaner. That fish will eat absolutely everything. You can see she's a little bit thick. It's very hard to keep her from eating too much. But I think she may also have some eggs because she's a female. If I can get them into a bigger tank when I move into a house, I'd like to get it like a 55, and then I can get her a boyfriend. Would you say you have a favorite? It's hard to pick favorites. They're all good. They're all good. I love the betta that I have in here too. Fleta the betta, who is behind me in that tank back there. He's my little baby boy. They're all good. Any plans to decor your fish tank with Naga figurines? You know, if I could get like real tiny ones, that might work. A real tiny, like, because that's what they were kind of around that Naga questing area where you were getting the grass and the pure water from the fountain. Like, those little figurines were just like little bitty things. They were like hidden places. So maybe. Recently uninstalled League. Just getting frustrated, not having fun anymore. There's really no point in playing if you're not having fun. Anything specific you would like for the Netherlands or Germany or Belgium? I don't know of anything, which is I think why it would be kind of cool. So anything that you would recommend, really. I'm very, very flexible. If there's any kind of tea, if there's any kind of local or regional tea, that's always good, but I don't even know if you guys like tea over there. I went to Rainbow Gathering and then to the Oregon Country Fair. Best tape week ever. You know what I actually really do like in Portland is the Portland Saturday Market. Happens on more than Saturdays, but it's like every weekend and it's amazing. It's huge, and it's the only place where I can really deal with it being super, super crowded because there's just so many cool things to look at. I've bought plants from there, which reminds me there's some plant stuff I wanted to talk about because I'm just a very exciting and hip and with it stream. But, you know, you can buy, there's like plants and handmade stuff and just cool artisanal stuff and food to have, and you can like walk by the waterfront. It's a nice place to go on a weekend if you're going to be downtown. Chromie is thick fishy. She is a thick fishy. Would you consider the term bottom feeder derogatory? Not as it applies to fish. I feel like if you're talking about a person like that, that's not very nice. But Corys and Rams specifically eat off the bottom. You buy them special bottom feeder food that sinks to make sure that they can get it. You can see the Corey's got a piece of it right there. He's got a big chunk of, that is the Bug Bites bottom feeder. And you can see him kind of snuffling away at it. Somebody may come and steal that from him. He's got a pretty big piece. Are you considering getting other animals? I would like to get more fish, like more aquariums and bigger aquariums so I can have more fish in a home. But aside from that, I think I'm going to pretty much chill. Somebody may be able to talk me into a reptile, but I don't want to overdo it. I want to make sure I have time to take care of everything and also still be making YouTube videos. And right now, I'm feeling good about the fish and the amount of time the fish take. And I get to a point in my week where I'm like, I'm on a weekend and I'm like taking care of the tanks. And I'm like, well, there's nothing else I can do. And I don't want to bother them, so I guess I just look at the tank. But I would like to have another tank to work on. But I want goldfish. Oh, look at that. I love how much those minnows got color. Ugh. Ugh. Anna, welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Thank you very much for becoming a member. I hope that you are enjoying the stream. You get access to a whole bunch of new Hazel-specific emotes, so congrats on those if that's the kind of thing that you want. I appreciate the support. All right, let me see. Can I get into this dungeon yet? I don't think I'm going to be able to do all of the... Are we allowed in? Nope, not yet. Hopefully I don't reset my timer every time I try. Watching the fish tank makes me want to question Vashir. Vashir's nice. Any tea you missed from BC? I can kind of get it all here. Almost everything that's like Canada specific that I really liked is available online. And my new thing has been buying tea from China, which I can do from anywhere. I think I'm all right. Cragwa demands that you adopt a froggy. I don't know enough about frogs. I know people get African dwarf frogs. I don't want to get any fish that I don't know, like fish. I don't want to get any animals that I'm not 100% prepared to take care of. It's, you know, they come first. Crested gecko. 4 freshwater pufferfish for my daughter's tank, like little dwarf puffers. I keep going on and off about whether or not I should do a pea puffer tank one day. I can't decide. They're really cute, but they're so tiny. As long as you don't have the bunny as food for the reptile. Passes around the petition to stop Hazel from getting into spiders and reptile tanks. I can almost guarantee you that I'm not going to do spiders, but I could do a reptile one day. We'll see. Would you consider getting a saltwater aquarium? There's so many amazing saltwater fish. I don't think it would be good for beginners. I would consider saltwater if I was still super into fish after I've kind of met all my freshwater goals. I don't think it would be that hard to learn about it as long as I go into it being prepared to do a bunch of research. But it just seems so much more inherently high maintenance than freshwater that I'm not really committed to it. I change my water once a week. I change it once a week. And in that tank, you can see in the back of it, you've got like these little scraggly, like thready things. Those are actually roots from a pothos plant that I have up there that has been completely demolishing the nitrates in the tank. It actually gets to 0. I think I may need to actually supplement to give the plants that are in there what they need. But yeah, I do a once a week water change. I do about 35% in that tank, and I do 50% in Flatus tank because it's so small that it's hard not to. Did I... Phyllis, thanks for the super chat. Did I just hear you say you like Vashir? Yeah, I like being in Vashir. I like the zone Vashir. I don't like leveling there. I never level there. I level in Hyjal. Hyjal's where you level because you can fly. Vashir is pretty though, and you can't deny that. Puffers have personality. They'd murder all the shrimp. Yeah, if I did a dwarf puffer tank, it would be dwarf puffers only. It would probably be like a 10 or 15 gallon, and you'd get like 3 of them, and that would be it. That's the only fish you have in there. Multiple tank syndrome. What about feeder bugs though for birds and reptiles? Yeah, that's kind of the reason I don't really want to mess with reptiles yet, is because I don't have to mess with any live food right now. I don't have to deal with crickets or anything. For the best gameplay in WoW dungeons, buy a fish tank. Alright, speaking of, so we're back in the dungeon. I can shrink this back down. There we go. Thank you for biding your time with me while we wait for the hour-long cooldown to be up, and also for listening to my fish. Reptiles are the best. They're such cuties. I have Theraflu tea in my squirrel mug. All better. Thanks, Jessica. Cheers. Hope you're feeling better. Would you ever get a hamster? I don't want to say never, but I've never really seen... I feel like if I was going to do a rodent like that, I would want to do mice, because I feel like they're cuter. But hamsters are very thick. I've never held one. I'd need to visit one. There's a witch walk local to me tomorrow, where you walk around dressed as witches and shop at booths. They have a witch dance afterwards. Now that just sounds fun. That sounds like the kind of Halloween event I can get behind. Most of Halloween stuff I'm not really about, because it's just like, I don't know. It's scary stuff. There's enough scary things in the world without me having to dress up as a... I don't know. It's been a while. How's Turd Snail? You can actually see him right now. So I moved him to the big tank because he kept escaping from the smaller ones, so I assumed that he wanted to live in a different place. And he has not escaped from the big tank so far. So you can see kind of on the left-hand side, there are 2 snails that are kind of glommed together making a heart shape. That is Turd Snail professing his undying love for another snail. which he has been doing on and off between the 2 other snails that live there ever since I put in. I don't even know how he's eating. He just like gloms onto another one. I'm assuming that they're mating. And he just rides the other one around forever. He doesn't get off much, but he's the one on top on the left there. That's him. He's alive. He's doing good. He's just perpetually in love. Maybe that's why he wanted to escape, is he just really needed to find somebody to satisfy his urges, his snail urges. Get a shark. Yeah, you need to, even for the tiny sharks, you still need a pretty big tank, and I certainly can't have anything like that in an apartment. I can't even have goldfish. Not yet. Not yet. Get a shark, yes. With my awesome turtle mount, I have no problems in Vashir. Did someone say Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker? You know, I didn't hear it, but you never know. Sometimes people just whisper that. Thanks for the super chat, Grady. Appreciate that. We're going to convince Hazel to adopt a snake, and next thing you know, she'll be streaming like Britney Spears with a python around her neck. From what I've heard, well, it's important to handle your snake enough to make sure that it's okay with being handled for the sake of taking it out to clean. But you don't, I mean, I don't know. I guess if it was chill with being out, but I wouldn't want to stress it out. Get a crested gecko, use the Pangea mixes. If I felt like it would be better off with insects, though, I would probably feel the need to mix them in. Get a capybara. A bearded dragon, the crickets are loud. That's the thing. I don't even mind that the crickets are gross, and I'm not really concerned about, like, the ethics of feeding crickets to something. I can get over that. But they're loud. And that's weird. And annoying, I think. What a snail. Snakes also live for a very long time. A very long time. I don't want to get a monkey. Good luck getting the raptor. I think we're actually done. I think that was actually the last tune that I had. I think I have 11, so I had to wait for the cooldown for one more, and then we were all done. The snail urges. Get a horse. I tell myself that it's okay to spend money on my fish because I don't have a horse. I can get away with it. In any case, thank you guys very much for watching my stream. I apologize that there was only like 2 minutes of gameplay in the last 15 minutes, but you know, sometimes it is what it is. I am going to go edit to do my very best to get a video up before lunchtime. I'm gonna try. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me, and all of these super chats and sponsorships. They mean a lot, and they really do help. Supporting people like you guys makes me feel much better when I don't reply to the email asking me to advertise a mobile game from China. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will see you again on the live stream on Friday, and hopefully I have a video or two out between then, so keep an eye on all that. Appreciate you guys, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day.